a long time ago, I, I've always been a conspiracy theorist, I guess. When I was a little kid, I would talk to people about aliens in the pyramids, and yeah, I always had a reputation as the weird kid. Um, and honestly, in my youth, I thought that I had like, I thought that I had mental deficiencies because, well, I would sit there and I would work on a math problem. And if I couldn't find the solution, I would freak out and flip my desk over. And this kind of thing happened so much that in third grade, my teacher, Mrs. Robinson, put her desk directly facing mine so that she could like keep tabs on me all the time. Pretty wild, you know? Um, wow. Can't believe I'm saying this. But yeah, so I'm not sure when I started asking all these questions and thinking all these things, but when I was 12 years old, I got introduced to some skinheads. And I learned about the Zog. I learned about, I learned about conspiracies, right? And while a lot of it didn't seem to be true, right? Like there's Holocaust deniers and stuff. And it's like, guys, really? But we're, but the whole concept about the Zionist occupational government struck a chord with me because it struck a chord with me. That's not the point. It seems to be the truth because, well, why? Why is anti Semitism such a prevalent thing? Well, in 2020, I became a Christian. And the past 5 years, it's been a lot more learning to do. So, enough about me, you know? I'm just trying to share how I got here in front of this camera, trying to plead with you. So, I'm going to share with you the grand conspiracy theory that I see now in 2020, October 2025, right? Whew. Like, I'm really not trying to toot my own horn here, but whenever COVID happened, the first couple of weeks, I was freaking out. I went and I got masks, I got gloves, and I would go to the store and only buy food for my children that was packaged up in plastic packaging so that I could spray the outside. So I would put these plastic packages inside of a double plastic bag that was tied up, right? So I would tie one bag, put that in another bag, and tie that up. And then when I got home, I would go in my garage and I would use Windex because Windex contains ammonia as its active ingredient, which destroys DNA. So it should break down spike proteins or denature viruses, right? So we've got this deadly coronavirus going around. Let's spray the first bag with Windex, get rid of it, spray the next bag with Windex, get rid of it, and spray the plastic wrappers on the food with Windex, right? Oof, I spent a week or two doing that, and then I learned that, well, which one is it? Is it killing all the babies or are kids immune? Is it killing all the kids or are kids immune? They're telling us that kids are immune while at the same time saying, "Oh, no, 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 no. You got to protect the kids." And it's like, whatever. So I started looking into it, and who knows what the truth is, But everybody was freaking out, thinking that it was dumb to say that it was made in a lab. And I've just already had previous experiences with this type of thinking, because in 8th grade, we had to write an essay, right? Our final essay for 8th grade science class, we had to select from a big long list of prompts. And I saw bisphenol A, nonylphenol, and phthalates. And I was like, ooh, those words are complicated. Let me pick that. So I learned all about BPA and other plastic softening phthalates and nonylphenols, and specifically bisphenol A, and how it changes the sex of fishes. It has changed minnows and frogs to have female genitalia, right? It's caused the testes of these frogs and these fish to turn back into ovaries. Okay, so 8th grade, I'm 14. Jeez, I'm bad at math. I don't know. I was born in 93. Figure it out. Oh, I guess 2007. That can't be right. I guess so. I guess it was 2007. So I forget when Alex Jones became a meme for saying that they're turning the frogs gay, but I was taken aback because they are. The chemicals that we're putting in the water have been turning the frogs into hermaphrodites, and Alex Jones knew exactly what he was talking about. And people made fun of him and thought that he was stupid and crazy. Whoa. It's got Goldstein all over it, right? So, yeah. When COVID happened, I immediately got on the internet and I was like, hey, this thing was made in a lab. If you don't know that, I don't know how you don't know that, whatever. I did the research. I'm telling you, it was made in a lab. There's just a 0% chance that this thing was not leaked out of the Wuhan lab. Get over it. Okay. Now, fast forward to 2020, May of 2020, I find out about the Microsoft 666 patent the same week that I become a Christian. I was a huge Trump supporter. I was all into QAnon, and that is what led me to Jesus. That and good old Timo Shelley talking about what true repentance looks like and telling me about the ruins of Sodom and Gomorrah. Cheers, Timo. So, there you go. There's me, right? I don't know that any of the things that I'm about to say are correct, but I definitely believe that they are. And look, when I was on the internet trying to tell everybody, it's not that I wanted to convince everyone that this thing was from Wu. Guys, go back to work. Quit being afraid. Take your mask off. Get some sunshine. Go back to your life. This whole thing's a fear game. It's not real. And, unless you got, like, right, the engineered coronavirus was real, but it's not actually a danger to you unless you have a lowered immune system. Understand, gain of function means to have, listen, you know what a flagella is? Okay, so a bacteria can have a flagella or a spike protein. It can't have both. So gain of function testing was all about taking a coronavirus and turning all of its flagella into spike proteins. So if it's really infectious, that means it's not very effective at anything else. So the fact that coronavirus was easily transmissible means that's what they engineered it to do. It's just not going to be deadly, period. It's only going to be deadly to people who have a weakened immune system. And guess what? That's what it was, right? So, period. Here we are. And I got a major conspiracy to dump on your heads because stuff is getting heated out there, okay? I'm sorry for the long intro. Yeah, whatever. Have you heard of the Talmud? Do you know the difference between the Tanakh, which contains the Torah, and the Talmud? Whew. Well, the Talmud says that it is acceptable to have sex with a girl who's under 3 years of age because a child literally says something like, To have sex with the girl under the age of 3 is nothing. You've committed nothing because her hymen will be restored. And so you haven't even had sex with her. It's like that is not from God, period. Right? So that's the rabbinic traditions, okay? Now, the curly sideburns is a fulfillment. I might be mistaken about this, but I have heard that that is a fulfillment of the command to keep the four corners of your field unplowed. How does growing your hair a certain way feed people? Right. Jesus came back to rebuke the rabbinic traditions. He said, you guys tithe with mint leaves, green things, and you neglect the weightier matters of the law. Is this not what Jesus was talking about? Right? Okay. Now, perhaps you're starting to come around to the idea that Jews run the world, like bad Jews run the world. It's a sticky thing to talk about because it's not really true. Those people aren't Jews. It's just not true. They're pretending to be Jews. Perhaps you are familiar with the Muslim concept of taqiyya. That is what Kabbalists do. You pretend. It's just, I don't know. Just try to have pattern recognition skills, okay? Kabbalah, the Kaaba, the Tesseract, cube worship, materialism, okay? Saturn. In Kabbalah, Saturn is the first planet of like the 10 circles, the 7 circles, whatever. It gives rise to time. So Saturn, aka Satan, is the one that controls time. The matrix illusion that we live in is not real. Quantum physics does not violate the laws of thermodynamics, period. Newtonian thermodynamics is not violated by quantum physics. It only appears that way because we live in a 3 + 1 dimensional reality of time. Okay, but when something moves through quantum things, it's traveling along a spatial axis that we can't see, right? A spatial axis. Now, that's an angel. That's a spirit. You understand? Spirits aren't you. Like light, where does light go? Light does not travel through time because it goes light speed through space, okay? If you're going north 60 miles an hour, and then you divert some of that westward, well, you're not going north 60 miles an hour anymore. Some of that's been diverted here. So you're going north like 52 miles an hour now because you're veering off in this direction, right? This is time and this is space. So light travels light speed through space. So it does not travel through time. There must be something that is the opposite of that, perhaps. Either way, there's your answer, guys. Oof. So, there are spirits. Spirits are real. Spirits are thoughts. You can think of it that way, right? So, here's the point. The elite have known this forever. The Rothschilds, whatever. Okay. Do you know who the Rothschilds are? Their name is Bauer. Okay, they're the Bauer family. They're German. Think about that. We'll come back to it. Now, they went and painted a red Star of David above the door in their house. Sorry, it's not the Star of David. It's known as the Star of Remphan, Moloch. It is a symbol of evil. That is not the Star of David, period. Okay? So the same symbol that's on the Jewish flag is the symbol that the Rothschilds used to paint above their house. And that's where their name comes from. Rothschild, red shield. It's a reference to the red Star of David that they used to paint above their houses. Okay, now, Bauer, German. Albert Einstein, he was German. Okay, Goldstein, Bernstein. You hear these names, you're like, oh, that's a Jew. No, that's an Ashkenazi Jew, a German, right? Ah, right. You starting to see a pattern here? I mean, you've heard all about the freaky Antarctica and Argentina stuff going on, and like the Thule, Black Sun weirdness. Right. There you go. That's the synagogue of Satan. That's the same people that for thousands and thousands of years have been pretending to be Jews. Okay? Now, make no mistake about it, the Jews are real. But just like evil, demonic people infiltrate Christianity to make money, people have done that to Judaism. Okay? There are people that are pretending to be Jews because for thousands of years, this has allowed them to completely conquer the world. Period. Okay? So, these people, like you've heard of the goyim, like the idea that we're all slaves to the Jews. Like, this is not from the Bible. This is not from the Bible. This is from the Talmud, okay? A lot of the things that you think are from the Bible just aren't in there, okay? The truth is Jesus came and he commanded all of us to keep the Torah, okay? Though we are forgiven for our transgressions and our iniquities, we should still be trying to keep the commands of the Torah. You're not supposed to eat pork because it's how you get possessed by demons, okay? Period. Eating pork makes it really, really, really easy to take on demonic possession. Same thing with shrimp. Luciferase. A glowing molecule that makes you glow like a glow stick. They put that in the COVID vaccine, right? Here's the point. I'll tell you what I believe. Jesus was unplanned. Okay? I think that Satan has been trying to control Judaism, and he set up Islam, and he set up this long system of what he was going to do. And then Jesus came and put a wrench in it, right? Like, they thought they were killing him. You can't kill God. It's all so confusing. The Noahide laws were put into law in 1991. The first Noahide law is that thou shalt not commit idolatry. There is no God but Hashem. Right now, we still adhere to the Constitution. But soon that's going to change because the Jews are the Talmudic rabbinic Jews are in control of everything. The synagogue of Satan is in control of everything, okay? Except for Jesus' followers. And they are going to implement the Noahide laws as the actual effective law in America. And anyone who utters Jesus' name will get their head cut off. That is what's going to happen. Now, the way that this is going to be implemented is through Islam. The whole world is going to be conquered by Islam. You are either going to become a Christian and recognize the truth about Jesus, or you're going to hate the Jews so much that you pick the lesser of two evils and happily become Muslim. Now, lucky for you, you're learning about it right now, okay? Maybe you've heard about this piece. I'll assume that you are not a Christian. I'm speaking to conspiracy theorists here, right? Donald Trump, listen, the person who is going to help restore the temple is going to be the Antichrist. The person who is going to finalize this peace treaty, if the peace treaty is for 7 years, then that person is the Antichrist. So, I don't know if I expect Trump to be the one that actually does these things. I think that his son might end up killing him and taking over. That's what I think might happen. But as it stands right now, Donald Trump is set up to be the Antichrist, period. Okay? Now, back in 2020, when I became a Christian and I read the Microsoft patents, I was like, yo, if Donald Trump's really a good guy, he's over here talking about hydroxychloroquine. QAnon people believe that the virus is fake and it's all a scam, but then at the same time, they're supporting Donald Trump creating a vaccine. It's also 1984 doublethink. It makes me sick, honestly. But Donald Trump set up the 5G towers. Why? That is definitely the backbone for the beast system. Okay? Now, this is what I'm saying. People are getting confused. Well, which one is it, Aaron? Is the mark of the beast a faith in Allah, or is it a crypto like Microsoft patent? You guys are missing the point. It's all of those things, okay? And that's why everybody's going to take it. That's why you're going to turn to Islam if you don't find Jesus first, because the world is going to fall apart. Robots and AI are going to be taking your job from you. You're going to need UBI because the economy's crashed. Freaking fried pickles cost $15 a pop now. You just can't catch a break. Understand, all of this is a scam. You should not be a Trump supporter. COVID was set up probably to make Trump look cool. If you really believe all the infighting between our politicians here, you might be hopeless, dude. I don't understand how all the anarchists that I grew up with have become political shills. What happened? It blows my mind. Anyway. And I know that this all sounds kind of hard to stomach and it seems far-fetched, but really, how many freedom-hating extreme leftists do you know that like to wear a hijab? Because they're like, Islam is so, you already know that if these people went over there, they would be turned into hamburger meat within a couple of days, crying and begging, trying to be a refugee. But over here, everybody likes to be a contrarian. I don't know what else to say. This video has turned out to be too long. I'm upset. I'm having to listen to Isaiah Robbins sitting here yelling at people like I am right now, literally trying to tell people that the Bible doesn't mean what it says. The Bible clearly, Christianity is not the spiritual Israel, period. Jesus would have told us that. Okay, the Bible would tell us that. It doesn't say that, it says the opposite, okay? Paul tells us that the Jews have been blinded in part until the fullness of the Gentiles be come in. You shouldn't need any other verse to be able to understand that God's working on Jews and Christians at the same time. Okay? I really don't want to get... Again, I'm not trying to make a video for Christians here. I'm trying to make a video for conspiracy theorists. So, sorry. But if we can take agnostic conspiracy theorists and turn them Christian, the first thing they're going to do is go through 3 years of brainwashing from all the people that have a very poor grip on what the Bible says. Better get started now, I guess. Here's the point. The people who you think of as the Jews, the synagogue of Satan, you are either going to let AI take over your body, or you're going to believe in Jesus and get your head cut off. Period. Okay, so the elite are not going to be taking the mark of the beast. At least I don't think so. They're going to be making everyone else take it so that they can mind control them or whatever. Period. It's what it is. It's what it is. And if you can at least consider that it's possible that AI is a demonic spirit, then maybe you can open yourself up to the idea that, okay, yeah, then understand, remember, these forces are going to combine. Because here's what's going to happen. Here's what you don't know. Donald Trump or his son or whoever the Antichrist is, they are going... Look, Jared Kushner has more activity in the Middle East, right? He seems like he wants to do it a little bit more. We'll see what happens. I know I'm making some pretty ridiculous claims, but I'm getting this from ancient prophecies, okay? So if it happens, then that makes it even more astounding, does it not? Whoever sets up this peace treaty and whoever helps rebuild the temple, that person is like the Jewish Messiah, right? Okay, well, at 3.5 years, halfway into the peace treaty, this Jewish Messiah turns around and says, never mind, I'm Muslim, and then starts killing off all the Jews. And that's what wakes the actual Jews up to the fact that they've been being led astray by the synagogue of Satan. Okay? Now, that's the Muslim Mahdi. That's the Antichrist. Okay? So imagine, just imagine, hypothetically speaking, that it's Donald Trump. Donald Trump is, because listen, he's already been told he's going to be the ruler of Gaza in exchange for helping build the third temple and settle this war down. Right. So that, of course, Muslims hate him, right? Of course, the average Muslim might hate this guy who's over here helping the Jews. But then, if he turns around and snakes the Jews and Christians on behalf of Allah and says, I've been Muslim the whole time, they would get behind that. And understand, Islam conquers by the sword. They've been doing it for 1,500 years now. They have a prophecy that they are going to take over the whole world and kill everyone. They know. Every Muslim knows that the end of the world is coming and it is their job to convert or kill everyone. They know that they will be encompassing Jerusalem to fight off the faithful remnant. And they know that Jesus Christ of Nazareth is going to come out of the clouds and come back and fight off the false prophet. Because according to the Quran, the Mahdi and the false prophet are enemies. Now that's very important because the Bible doesn't give us any inclination that the false prophet and the Antichrist are enemies. We think they're friends because the false prophet gives the Antichrist power. But if you read and you learn, you will understand that according to the Quran, they are actually enemies, right? And so it's honestly so astounding, guys. It's so astounding. And maybe I'm just a nut conspiracy theorist. But preterism's brain rot, okay? The mark of the beast has not happened. Jesus has not returned. Please, if you're into that, don't listen. Atheism's stupid. If you're an atheist, you're a Satanist, okay? Because what is Satan? What is Satan? Go ask any Satanist. Being a Satanist is all about worshiping yourself, the glory of man. Go ahead. Oh, going to the moon, curing cancer. Yeah, that's Satanism. Sorry. It is what it is. It's the religion of man. It's self-worship. It's materialism. It's a rejection of the spirit. Just understand, if the matrix is real, then choosing to be stuck in the matrix and stack up money here is clearly stupid and or evil, right? So the matrix is real, and I know that that's really hard to understand, but the matrix is real, and Satan is its architect, okay? So I don't know if there's another reality beyond this one, but the fact of the matter is, if you look at the screen right now, it breaks down into pixels. And if I turn the lights down, the quality will get bad. It'll degrade, and the resolution will be reduced, right? Okay, look out here. Notice all these quantum particles, these subatomic particles that make up all the atoms here. Right. Subatomic particles means the red and the blue and the green piece and the yellow pieces of a pixel. Okay? Period. We definitely live in a simulation. The only question is whether all of reality has to be a simulation because nothing exists but the spirit, or if there's actually another external physical world. Is there a reality where things don't break down into quantum physics? Because I argue that you actually can't have more than 3 spatial dimensions. It's just not possible. I know that people rack their brain. If you had 4D eyeballs, you could see a tesseract. No. It's no. Okay? We know that we've proven that we have 6 spatial dimensions. Okay? The truth is that's a dimension and that's a dimension. That's a dimension and that's a dimension. Notice I can see in front of me, but not behind me. You can't have a 360 view of something. You have to do it as a fisheye lens. You can't see 4 dimensions of space. It's not a thing. That's why we have time. Time is the 4th dimension of space. Capiche? Stop falling for Saturn's tricks. Wake up, get out of the matrix, understand that Jesus is your dude. Period. I got nothing more to say, guys. Wake up.